Imagine waking up to the ground trembling beneath your feet, a low rumble echoing through the crisp Hokkaido air. Somewhere deep below, a force older than humanity stirs a sleeping giant, restless after centuries of silence. Scientists have recently picked up unusual signals from Hokkaido's dormant volcanoes, faint tremors, subtle shifts, whispers of activity that hint at something brewing. Could these ancient titans be waking up? And if they are, what does this mean for the millions of people living in their shadow, not just in Hokkaido, but across northern Japan? The clock is ticking and the earth itself seems to be holding its breath. Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island, is a place where nature's beauty and power collide. Its sweeping landscape, snow-capped peaks, emerald forests, and steaming hot springs are a testament to its volcanic roots. But beneath this serene surface lies a volatile history, one forged in fire and ash. Hokkaido's volcanoes, many of which have been dormant for decades or even centuries, are part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 40,000-kilometer horseshoe of seismic fury encircling the Pacific Ocean. This region accounts for 90% of the world as earthquakes and 75% of its active volcanoes, and Hokkaido sits right on its volatile edge. Recent scientific observations have raised eyebrows. Seismic stations across Hokkaido have detected upticks in low-frequency earthquakes and volcanic tremors at sites like Mount Usu, Komagatake, and Hokkaido-Komagatake. These are not the dramatic eruptions of Hollywood movies, but subtle signs, cracks in the earth as silence that could signal a reawakening. For the communities dotting Hokkaido's rugged terrain, from bustling Sapporo to remote fishing villages, the stakes are high. An eruption could disrupt lives, economies, and ecosystems, sending ripples far beyond the island. Let's dive into Hokkaido's volcanic past, the myths that shroud its peaks, and what science is telling us about the future. Hokkaido's geology reads like a saga of creation and destruction. The island itself was shaped by the collision of tectonic plates, where the Pacific plate dives beneath the North American plate in a process called subduction. This grinding dance deep in the Earth's crust fuels Hokkaido's volcanoes, melting rock into magma that can erupt with devastating force. Over millions of years, this process has sculpted iconic peaks like Mount Usu, Hokkaido's tallest mountain, and Mount Mikan, whose stark volcanic landscapes draw hikers and scientists alike. Historically, Hokkaido's volcanoes have left their mark. Take Hokkaido-Komagatake, a brooding andesitic volcano on the Oshima Peninsula. In 1640, it unleashed one of Japan's largest historical eruptions, triggering a debris avalanche that reached the sea and spawned a tsunami that killed 700 people. More recently, in 1929, it erupted again, sending pumice and ash across the region. Mount Usu, another restless giant, has erupted 8 times in the past 350 years, with its 2000 eruption forcing thousands to evacuate. Mount Usu, nestled in Daizetsuzan National Park, last stirred in 2004, reminding locals of its unpredictable nature. These eruptions are not distant memories, they're part of Hokkaido's identity. Each event has reshaped the land and its people, leaving scars in the form of calderas, ash deposits, and altered rivers. Japan's meticulous record-keeping, combined with modern seismic networks like those operated by the Japan Meteorological Agency (JA) and the Huge Volcano Observatory (UVO), gives us a clear picture of this volatile history. But history also shows that dormant volcanoes can slumber for centuries before roaring back to life, which brings us to the present. Scientists are now picking up signals that Hokkaido's volcanoes might be stirring. The JMA and UVO monitor 47 of Japan's 111 active volcanoes, including several in Hokkaido, using a network of seismometers, GPS, and infrared sensors. In recent years, they've noted increased seismic activity at places like Hokkaido-Komagatake, where low-frequency earthquakes and volcanic tremors have become more frequent. These are often signs of magma or fluid movement deep underground, though they don't always mean an eruption is imminent. For example, Komagatake's seismicity remains low compared to other monitored volcanoes. But small swarms in 1983 and 1989 to 1990, some linked to nearby tectonic earthquakes, suggest it's not entirely asleep. Mount Usu, located near Lake Toya, is another focal point. Its 2000 eruption was preceded by seismic swarms and ground deformation, clues that scientists now watch for closely. The UVO's 10 seismic stations around Usu have recorded occasional tremors and small earthquakes, hinting at unrest. Similarly, Mount Usu has shown sporadic seismic activity, with 6 stations picking up subtle signals that could indicate magma recharge at depth. These observations don't scream eruption tomorrow, but they're enough to keep volcanologists on edge. After all, Japan's volcanoes are known for their unpredictability. Mount Usu's 2014 eruption, which killed 63 people, came with little warning. What's driving this restlessness? Hokkaido sits at a tectonic crossroads. The Pacific Plate subduction beneath the North American plate creates a mantle wedge where magma forms, while arc collisions where two volcanic arcs meet add complexity. Studies from 2014 revealed low seismic attenuation zones beneath Hokkaido, indicating hot, magma-rich regions extending to the Moho, the boundary between the Earth's crust and mantle. These zones align with Hokkaido's volcanoes, suggesting a dynamic subsurface where magma could be pooling. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake, a magnitude 9.0 monster, also left its mark, causing subsidence in volcanic regions and possibly destabilizing magma chambers as far away as Hokkaido. Hokkaido's volcanoes are indigenous geological features they rewoven into the cultural fabric of the island, especially for the indigenous Ainu people. The Ainu, whose history stretches back thousands of years, see volcanoes as sacred, often personifying them as deities or spirits. Mount Usu, for example, is tied to stories of kami, divine beings who govern nature. In Ainu folklore, volcanoes are both creators and destroyers, their eruptions seen as the anger or awakening of these spirits. One legend tells of a fire goddess who lives in the heart of Mount Usu, her breath warming the hot springs that bubble across Dazetsuzen National Park. These stories aren't just poetic, they reflect a deep understanding of the land's volatility. The Ainu knew to respect the mountains, building their lives around their rhythms. Even today, local festivals and rituals honor these natural forces, blending Shinto and Ainu traditions. For modern Hokkaido residents, the volcanoes are both a source of pride and a quiet reminder of nature's power. Tourists flock to places like Mount Mikan for its stark beauty, but locals know that beauty comes with a pulse. If Hokkaido's volcanoes are indeed waking up, the consequences could be far-reaching. A major eruption from Komagatake or Usu could produce ash plumes that disrupt air travel, as seen with Iceland's Eyjafjallajökull gull in 2010. Ashfall could blanket Sapporo, a city of nearly 2 million, affecting agriculture, water supplies, and infrastructure. Pyroclastic flows, fast-moving currents of hot gas and rock pose a deadly risk to nearby communities, as seen in the 1991 Unzendake eruption in Kyushu, which killed 43 people. Tsunamis, like the one triggered by Komagatake in 1640, are another threat, especially for coastal towns. Economically, Hokkaido thrives on tourism, agriculture, and fishing. An eruption could devastate these industries, with ash damaging crops and fisheries, and evacuations disrupting tourism hotspots like Lake Toya or Dazetsuzen National Park. The 2000 Usu eruption forced 16,000 people to evacuate and caused millions in damages to local businesses. Beyond Hokkaido, ash could drift to Honshu or even Russia, affecting air quality and transportation. Then there's the human toll. Japan's volcanic risk management is world-class, with JMA's 5-level alert system guiding evacuations and restrictions. But even the best systems can't eliminate risk entirely. The 2014 Ontakezen disaster showed how quickly a volcano can turn deadly, especially for hikers or tourists caught unaware. Hokkaido's sparse population compared to Honshu offers some buffer, but its remote communities could face challenges in evacuation and recovery. There's also a surprising upside. Geothermal energy. Hokkaido's volcanic activity heats underground reservoirs, which could be tapped for sustainable power. The 2016 Kumamoto earthquake, for instance, boosted geothermal potential near Mount Usu by opening fluid pathways. Similar dynamics could play out in Hokkaido, offering a silver lining to seismic unrest. So are Hokkaido's sleeping giants truly awakening? The signs are their tremors, seismic swarms, subtle ground shifts, but volcanoes are notoriously hard to predict. The JMA keeps a close eye on alert levels, currently set at 1 or 2 for most of Hokkaido's volcanoes, indicating normal activity or minor unrest. Level 3, which restricts mountain access, or higher levels requiring evacuation, would signal a more immediate threat. For now, scientists are cautious, emphasizing monitoring over alarmism. For the people of Hokkaido, life goes on amid this uncertainty. The island's beauty, from the steaming hell valleys of Noborubetsu to the snow-dusted peaks of Asahidake, is inseparable from its volcanic heart. The Ainu knew this, weaving respect for the land into their stories. Modern science echoes that respect, using cutting-edge tools to listen to the Earth's whispers. Whether these giants sleep for another century or stir tomorrow, Hokkaido's story is one of resilience, living in harmony with forces that can both create and destroy. If you're ever in Hokkaido, take a moment to stand on its volcanic soil. Feel the ground beneath you, steady for now but alive with possibility. The sleeping giants are there, dreaming beneath the surface. And when they speak, the world will listen.